Anyway, there's a lot of people over there at the homeless center thing well, the parking lot. I'm just going to call it the parking lot. That's what it is. It's a parking lot. It's a parking lot. It's for parking cars. It's blacktop. It's hot. It radiates heat. It's great. Really. Anyway, in this parking lot, there's my attention deficit. I love animals. Anyway, in this parking lot over there, where all these homeless people are around this homeless center thingy, it's basically run like a prison yard. People who are in control of it and the people that think they're in control of it. And then there's the people it's supposed to help who aren't in control of anything. So we got the staff who do the best they can. They try to see everybody as a person. But between a dealer who's maintaining his cool when people are around and fucking people up when nobody's looking, and the people that he fucked up that are now pissed off, the one who's going to get kicked off the property is the one who got fucked up who's pissed off. Like I said, it's run like a prison yard. They all talk big when they get out of prison about some sort of magic prison nobility. You know, like we're somehow noble prisoners. They'll fucking shank you in the back. So for this lady, with people wanting to get violent with her, the same as they were getting violent with Jamie, that lady didn't quite understand how easily that could have happened to her. She doesn't understand that there's a lot of us out here who had to talk people out of hurting her by explaining that she's possibly missing from Yakima. She might not have all of her bearings there. She might have Alzheimer's. She might just be playing. See, that's the thing about Jamie. Jamie's not playing. Some of the stuff that I had heard about her isn't actually true, which is, I think that's a good thing, because that kind of trauma is not something anybody should have to live through. Surviving something like that, I couldn't imagine. So I'm glad that ended up being bullshit. Now with this lady here, when she wants to ask for something, there's a lady there who snaps at anybody who asks for anything. She can ask. But nobody else is allowed to ask without getting screamed at or yelled at. I don't get screamed at or yelled at because I don't ask for much and I contribute. I also contribute to pissing people off, which I'm also okay with because I'm pissing off the right people. There's a couple of folks down there that don't realize they're on my YouTube channel hurting people. But it usually don't take long before, when people find out what I'm doing, they start looking through and going, hey man. Hey Sean, I gotta tell you, man, that's not cool. And I tell them, hey man, looking away from what's happening to Jamie, that ain't cool. looking away from what's happening to Daniela. That ain't cool. And Daniela, she's a much older lady, and when she is afraid to ask, she starts mumbling and talking baby talk. I don't know where she got that or why she never grew out of it, but that's one of the things that makes me wonder if maybe she does have Alzheimer's. I, it seems to me that if she does have Alzheimer's, it's coming across like she's faking it real heavy because she wants clothes. She needs clothes. She's aware that clothes is what she needs. If she wants something, she's pretty straightforward about exactly what she wants. She knows where things are. She's not forgetting any of that. She knows exactly where she's at. She doesn't think that it's 1956 or 1965 or 1988 or anything like that. She just turns into a blubbering baby talker because she's afraid to use her words. Because she's afraid that Wanda will snap at her like she does everybody else. Now, Wanda had a scare today and went to the hospital. I'm glad she did not die. And I do believe that she's made a bit of progress at least. She's basically got one person that she likes to argue with. And she doesn't go at everyone else's throats the way that she was. And that makes me feel better. It always bugged me if somebody was allowed to do something over and over again that they don't want anybody else doing it. Nobody else is allowed. Only me. Only me. Everybody thinks they should have those special rights, don't they? Of course they do. Well, here's the thing. If it's everybody thinking they should get them special rights, how about we give everybody those special rights, and then they will no longer be special rights. They will then be equal rights. Wouldn't that be nice? Sure would. But one of the things that makes me think about that lady is she'll literally ask me the same question 4 or 5 different times in a row. Are you sure? Please, please, please. Like, no, I don't have an extra pair of pants for you. When I say no, it's because it means no. No, I don't. I don't have an extra pair of pants for you. If I had an extra pair of pants for you, I'd give you an extra pair of pants. That's not a problem. Hello. Good morning. So it's not a matter of disliking her. It's how she wants to treat it, though. Now, as far as time goes, yes, I'm willing to spend time to help somebody. I don't exactly feel comfortable over there when it's just me and her, but I also don't feel comfortable with it just being her over there by the Fred Meyer. Well, all right, there's 2 managers that are kind of keeping an eye on her. I mean, at first I was wondering if they're going to call the cops on her because she was pretty loud. But then it seemed like when I was sitting with her, talking with her just a few minutes ago, they stopped and checked about 2 or 3 times just to see that she was all right. The cops have not showed up there. She is still there. But, of course, all right, let me give you an example. She wanted to get a a very specific flavor of one of them alcoholic drinks. And she was only a little bit short of it in her own mind, but everybody's broke. You know, it's the end of the month for a bunch of folks that if they have a paycheck, it's their disability check, and it's not enough to live on. And this is something you don't get every time you tell these people to get a job. There's a reason they're on disability, dumbass. A lot of these folks you guys victimized until they're no longer functional members of society. And then there's, of course, housing first. Alright, so I'm at the Goodwill Superstore. This is one of the things I figured I'd do tonight. Run around and see what time everybody opens. Mostly because there's a check engine light on my car, and I want to see if letting the car cool down fixes it. I was able to fix the radiator hose or replace it so it works. I got that done last month, actually. I did have a little bit of assistance with it. That lady Wanda, she hooked me up with all the tools I needed to do the job. See, there's good and bad in everybody. With her, she sees people who are a drain on the local homeless population and the economy there. And it makes perfect sense from a financial standpoint, but it's not very humanitarian. I share, so she doesn't mind sharing with me, but I resolved not to ask her for anything more. Ever. I'm hoping that if I am one less person that she's giving out to, and if I am one more person who is contributing, well, that's a good start. That won't make her like me. But it's not a matter of liking people, it's a matter of getting people out of this fucking shithole, including her. None of these people deserve this. All of us have the opportunity right now that, you know what, 3 of us can get out of this fucking shithole in a month. And I mean that literally. Right now there's 3 boats that I'm looking at. Well, one of them is actually 3 separate boats, and then there's 2 other boats. One of them does not come with a trailer. Another one does. It's free. It's triple axle for the trailer, and it's deep enough that it'll actually pull the bigger boat. The bigger boat, there's another homeless guy who wants it. It's a matter of finding a mooring. All 3 of the boats that we were looking at, all 3 of them are seaworthy. All 3 of them are rated for the ocean. One of them's already on the water. So that one won't need a, what do you call that? Trailer. There's a special name for that kind of trailer, though. They were telling me down at the marina in Hood River. I just don't remember. But with the different types of boats, there's going to be different types of trailers. That's one of the things I was looking at in Olympia. Obviously, that's not a happening thing anymore. But my battle plan, of course, was to go to the Olympic Peninsula. They got a lot of free boats up there in Washington that people are always giving away. And I wanted to go get a few of those boats, take them to a little cove there over on the Olympic Peninsula, get a little bit of camouflage netting. I have the camouflage netting, matter of fact, still. I got everything that I needed for the project. But I figured with each boat, you know, you could help a homeless person to build that boat, teach him some of the skills to keep and maintain it just in case something happens. And then, of course, there's the idea of the floating careening camp. And that's a good idea that came from a dead dude. But we can get into that story later. Supreme thinker. Some people, they're good at one thing, and that's all they do all day long is just that one thing. And when you've got a person who's basically split between two parts of that, kind of like you got the mechanic and you've got the engineer. So you've got mechanics who are like, man, these engineers are fucking idiots. And then you've got the engineers who are like, well, these fucking mechanics need to read the goddamn manual. But when you're both, you basically design it how you want it. And how you want it, in most situations, when it comes to inventors, it's going to be modular. Because you know you're going to want to make changes later. You start off with the simple concept to make sure that it works. And then you work on the little intricacies for whatever your grand master plan was to begin with. Some of the greatest minds that we give credit to this day, like Albert Einstein, Leonardo da Vinci, and, well, Nikola Tesla even. All of these people, as much as you guys want to tell us about their wonderful math, all of them said that the imagination is more important than the math. While you guys are telling your kids to grow up. Grow up. You live in the real world. Yeah, so did the Wright brothers. The Wright brothers lived in the real world and they still changed it, didn't they? You goddamn right they did. Now, there's a lot of people out here who are in really screwed up situations. And the better we can do for ourselves, the better we can do for them. I mean, no matter what you guys say you're going to do, no matter what you claim you're going to do, the burden falls on us. The burden of taking care of these people falls to the homeless people, to the homeless community. Who are you dropping these people off with? That's what you should be asking yourself. How okay is it to have that woman who's trying to get to Yakima? How okay is it for her to have to go to a homeless encampment for help that doesn't actually exist there, and the place is run by, well, violent felons? That guy who hit Jamie in the back of the head, you think he's going to be happy when he finds out that was filmed and it's live on YouTube? Well, of course he's not going to be happy with that. How many people who are recorded and on my YouTube are fucking happy about it? I want a show of hands. None? I guess there's a couple of attention mongers that sure as shit get the one hell of a kick out of it. But other than that, I keep hearing these pretty words out of y'all. We got to do better. We got to do better. We got to do better. Yeah, way to generalize into absolutely nothing. Here's what we need to do. We need to fight the cases, the individual cases. We need to work together to do this. We don't need to be fucking joining support networks and support groups that are fucking AA groups for goddamn whiners. You know why I quit drinking? I went to an AA meeting and I went, you know what? This is fucking torture. Listening to these fucking whiners whining about the lives that they ruined like they're the fucking victims. Well, they're admitting that they ruined all these people's lives, but it's in this meeting. And they're all gonna take turns doing that. Okay, I'm not coming back. If I ever drink again, I'll come back to one of your goddamn meetings, okay? Alright, good. We're pretty clearly establishing the fact that I'm not going to a meeting. It's okay to whine a bit. Don't whine without purpose. If you're crying and you're trying to get something important out, yes, take a few deep breaths. There are times where I was trying to take a deep breath and people are talking over me and also telling me to take a deep breath. I'm like, oh my God, I am. Or they're telling me to calm down. I'm like, this is as calm as I'm going to get right now. Alright, so I don't need a mattress. No need to go into that establishment. I think probably what needs to happen is I need to hire a lawyer to get a hold of Alicia Bollinger's lawyer. And we'll try to hash this out in court. Or she can tell her lawyer what it is that she wants me to do, and I can promptly go take care of it. All this shit because Alicia Bollinger wanted to play some bullshit that weren't true. See, for Natalie, it was an embarrassment thing. For Alicia Bollinger and Maddie Boa, it was an embellishment thing. I knew that Natalie thought she was in love with me, and I thought that I had talked her out of that. Out here, there's a few women who have said things to me that make me uncomfortable as far as that goes. Like, if I'm a nice guy, then it means that they have to... No, that's not what being a nice guy is. Alright, that might be what being a nice guy is. That's not what being a good guy is. Being a good guy is not kissing your ass either. I'm not sexist. I help men out too, including some of the men who have been my predators. Men who have targeted me, especially even in recent days. I still look stuff up. Now that's some karma right there. One of the guys I was told had hit Jamie, and mind you, I've gotten involved in separating people more than once. That ain't okay to beat somebody over. It's not. Just because somebody has some mental issues does not make it okay to assault them. Oh, you're pissed off because you're not getting a good night's sleep. Most people don't get a good night's sleep this day and age. If they do, they're popping pills. So when you say we gotta do better, here's a chance to do better. We got Jamie out here. She could sure use some help. We got that lady over at the Fred Meyer, and she's just trying to get home. It's like somebody left their stuff here. Matt and whoever it is, hopefully they come back for it. I'll leave it be. That lady over there at the Fred Meyer, she might not be all there. And maybe Yakima is the wrong place to send her if she does have dementia. Or see, that's the thing, is I'm pretty sure that the article that I was reading said dementia and not Alzheimer's. But like with her, it seems like if she does have one or the other, it's more likely Alzheimer's because of the repeat timing. If you tell her that you're not able to, she doesn't understand it. Now, there's a lot of stuff with people who said they couldn't help me, and they absolutely could, and that's one of the big differences. If I ain't got the money, I ain't got the money, and if you ain't got the money, you ain't got the money, and I can understand that. But that's something you can speak up about. And that don't cost you a goddamn thing but time. What I needed was for people to speak up. What I needed was for them to take a look. They didn't understand that the longer it took them to do that, the more abuse I was taking. And then they want to pretend that if I look away, it'll stop. No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. You cannot put Pandora back in the box. Once the lie is out there, the lie is out there. What you need at that point is to be able to prove that it's a lie. If you are able to prove that it's a lie, you also need the opportunity to do so. When you are called mentally ill, or you are homeless, or you're male, those are extreme uphill battles. When you got all of them combined, you're pretty well fucked. And everybody knows it. I mean, even the professionals, therapists, doctors, lawyers, tell me, I know what the law says. But also, you got to understand, what is a jury going to think? What's their opinion? What do they see on the news? What do they say about the homeless? Because whether you want to be put smack dab in the middle of that group or not, that's where the public's going to put you, because that's what was said about you. Election year is the scariest. You see, you'd think that would be the time of the year that your local senators and your governors and all that, you'd think that'd be the time of year when they're trying to be the most squeaky clean, trying to bust the bad guys. But really, no, what they're trying to do is keep their constituents happy. And if that means vilifying a particular group, by God, they'll do it. We're not allowed to go after the Jews anymore, which is good because I got some Hebrew ancestry. We're not allowed to go after black people anymore, and although I haven't actually seen any genealogy to prove this, apparently there's my first ancestors in the United States were black. But I don't know, I look in the mirror and I don't see it. Whether I am or not, even in part, is pretty much arbitrary. I'm a person either way. And I see people as people either way. I got a lot of anxiety and I want to get some sleep. I want to go see my brother, but I can't go to Colorado. I want to go get some boats. But where most of the boats are, I can't go. So there's somebody else I was going to see if I could possibly pay him to bring me a boat. 3 of them, matter of fact. There's 3 of them up there in, I want to say Redmond, Washington. And they're all part of a fishing boat fleet. And they're pretty thin. They're only about 6 foot wide each. They're thin. But each one of them has a space for what do you call that? A winch, a big giant winch for dropping nets for fishing. And there's 3 of them. Now only one of them still has the thing for casting the nets on it. The other 2, it's been removed for, well, other purposes of some sort, I don't know. Maybe they never had them. But there's apparently 2 of them are larger size and 1 of them smaller. And those ones right there I think would be perfect for a trimaran, especially since they are ocean going. I don't know where they would have put the fish. I guess maybe it's something that's attached to a larger boat or something. All I saw was the advertisement for it. Right now there's a lot of stuff like that. If we can get stuff like that, we can create a society that, well, if the United States government and the United States people want to push us out into the sea, then fucking help us get out there. I'll gladly leave. I will gladly get off of American soil. You don't want me here because I'm not a piece of shit. You don't want me here because I actually stand up for our rights. Fine, fuck it. We'll go out on the open sea and observe our rights there. That also takes, of course, preparation. And it takes resources. And being able to maintain those resources out on the open ocean may not necessarily be all that easy. That's why it's important to have trading hubs. That's what's known as a careening camp. Those are actually for fixing boats, but you could make it an open market. There's a guy who designed one. He even designed it with a breakwater in mind, so you could land airplanes, but it wouldn't be landing them like on an aircraft carrier. These are so that if you're out on the ocean, it'll break up the waves enough that you can land a seaplane pretty easily, even if it's slightly rougher seas, and that's pretty cool. I designed a special brick that can be made out of recycled garbage. And I think that I might be able to use something like that out on the open ocean to make some pretty incredible stuff. Most of it's not all my ideas. It's all stuff that I've learned from learning from other people, reading about what other people had done, studying the things that they had built in real life. In some cases, building a little miniature model of something that somebody famous had made. And what are they famous for? For making whatever it is that I was making a model of. Alright. There were 2 places over here where I was told I could pass out for up to 2 weeks. I think this is one of them, but I'm not for certain. I know Fred Meyer was one of them, but I didn't see them until I was parked. Actually, I didn't even look up to see it was Fred Meyer until she started yelling. Because prior to that, I was looking at my phone. When I see people like her out here, and people like Jamie, and a lot of other people, and then you have all these expectations from the American people, and then you've got all the services saying we don't have those kind of services, we don't have the funding for that, but we got the funding to lock you up and put you in jail. We have the funding to ignore any and all crimes against you. Now we got folks in houses who are bitching. They're like, oh, well, for the first time, if you're being murdered, the cops might not even show up. No, it's not the first time ever. If you're homeless, that's always the case. It's not that they won't show up, it's that most of the time they don't show up. Or they show up well after the fact, like the situation with Daniel Kitlitz. His family should have sued Boulder for wrongful death. This lady out here, Jamie, if something happens to them, do they have family that are going to sue for wrongful death? Are they going to do something to try to change the laws? Meanwhile, I'm an idiot. I really am. People keep telling me, man, Sean, whatever happens, just let it happen. Like, fuck, no, I can't do that. Hell no. Why the fuck would you look away? Oh, yeah, you're afraid of getting beaten up. I'm not afraid of getting beaten up. Well, I am, but I'm also pretty used to it. I'm actually pretty good about staying out of fights. But also, you see the situation with Jamie when she got smacked in the back of the head. Yeah, that guy's a lot bigger than me. He's in a lot better physical shape, too. Alright. I don't want to pass out here. I know this Fred Meyer is supposed to be a safe place to go sleep, so up to 2 weeks, they say. Maybe if I shake the cobwebs out, I'll actually be able to make it there to the place I was before. Now that I got my vehicle, well, decently cooled off, it ought to make it. I think that check engine light is more closely related to the battery, but I'm not for certain because the battery light does work for when there's a low battery, but the battery light doesn't come on when the check engine light comes on. I checked the oil's fine. Checked the radiator fluid, it's fine. I'm down to 5% battery, so I gotta go. I guess the plan for this weekend is to possibly see about renting a U-Haul and getting a boat. It's something I've been looking into for a lot of years, though. I mean, I don't plan on just going out there unprepared. I'm slightly smarter than the average bear. Even if only by a little. Good to be radio. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper. And your sister's keeper, too. No victim left behind.